Hey there, and welcome to Saxcerpts with me, Megan Sachs, where I discuss short snippets about all things yoga and sound to help you raise your vibrations. Today's topic is going to be on sadhana. So what is sadhana, right? Perhaps you've been hearing this word on social media. Maybe you saw it here on my site under the sadhana sustenance. Maybe you have an idea that it means a daily practice, but want to know more about its roots and what exactly it entails. So sadhana is a Sanskrit word and is discussed in the Yoga Sutras, which are the main yogic text. On a very basic level, it is our spiritual practice. Essentially, it's whatever we do on a regular basis to help us turn inward, remove blockages, raise our vibrations, manifest our dreams, and develop one of the most intimate relationships we will have, the one with ourselves. In a book called Inside the Yoga Sutras by Reverend Jagannath Carrera, it's described as sadhana is the term used to designate spiritual practices and is derived from the root sadh, which means to go straight to the goal, generally translated as the means to liberation. So it's the work that we do to travel this spiritual path and to really raise our vibrations. And really, this inner work that we do influences how we engage with ourselves, how we engage with others, and the world around us at large. Ultimately, sadhana is a pathway into growth, transformation, expanded awareness, and harmony. So why commit to a sadhana? So we're taught that our bodies need food and water regularly, and I feel that way about our soul. I like to think of sadhana as the ways we nourish and explore our emotions, thoughts, and consciousness. And the more we practice, the stronger and more balanced our subtler bodies may become because they are receiving regular attention from us and we're learning how to navigate our inner path through this sadhana practice. I personally believe that shorter but more frequent practicing is more powerful than sporadic, longer practice. This is one reason I really encourage you not to rely on community experiences, as powerful as they may be, but to really develop your own personal day-to-day practice. A consistent sadhana is a doorway into centered and balanced living. Additionally, Ayurveda makes the suggestion that dis-ease begins in the Manomaya kosha, which is the mental body inclusive of our thoughts and our emotions. And this dis-ease may occur from unprocessed emotions, ignoring intuition, trapped trauma, chronic low mental patterns, our thought patterns, and just chronic low vibrational emotions overall. You kind of get the idea of where this disease may start. And these may actually occur because we are constantly on the go, always doing something, ignoring what's happening, numbing out, spiritually bypassing, and maybe we're tending to our physical body, but ultimately we're not really taking the time we need to rest and address how it is we are experiencing the world and integrating our life experiences into ourselves, into our vibrational patterns. And really, by taking the time to regularly nourish our soul, we are able to not only fully process what's going on in our lives, but we are able to respond better to difficult situations from a more balanced place because we have this expanded awareness of ourselves. Really, sadhana is how we tend to our internal garden. It's the time we allocate to observe what's growing within us, compost the past, weed out the toxic, adore what's flourishing, fertilize the possible, and be grateful for it all. So how to create a daily sadhana? So a sadhana doesn't have to look the same for everyone, right? In many ways, it depends on how intense and how deep you want your practice to be and how much time you are willing or have to dedicate to it. Now, the general cadence of a traditional sadhana includes the dinacharya. It's the Ayurvedic morning ritual that we have, and it could include things such as tongue scraping and oil pulling, two of my personal faves. And then from there, after you've kind of cleansed and woken up your body a little bit, we move into asana, which are yoga postures, or really any way to bring movement into the body. From there, once the body's prepared, we sit down into a pranayama practice, which are breathing techniques, patterns, holding the breath, suspending the breath, counting the breath, controlling the breath in some way. And once we've dived deep into those physiological functions that we access through pranayama, we move into dharana, which is some form of meditation. Now, that's not what it needs to look like for you. If that's too much for you, if that's not really what you're into, if that doesn't really resonate with you, you can really kind of choose your own adventure. It can include things such as chanting, mantra, affirmations, journaling. Maybe it's going outside and just meditatively and mindfully drinking a cup of coffee while you connect with nature and reflect upon life. Maybe it's a gratitude practice. The point is you choose how deeply you want to go and create a practice to reflect your desires and your needs and what you are interested in receiving from the sadhana practice. And please note that it can be broken up throughout the day. So many people stress a morning practice because it sets up your day. And I agree, a morning practice is amazing to set your day up in a positive, high vibrational way. But if mornings aren't where you have time, it's okay to practice at another time. I'll be honest, my morning practice began with looking myself in the eyes and saying affirmations while putting my makeup on for work. Wasn't exactly a morning person. Still not really a morning person. But my real practice began at night. After an hour-long practice of asana, I'd sit down, I'd breathe, I'd journal, I would draw, I would just sit with myself in reflection. And that's really where my practice was and where it began, was at a nighttime practice. And please note, how we end something is equally as important as how we begin it. So if your sadhana is at night and a nighttime practice, that is amazing. The thing to really remember is that we just practice when we can, and we start creating this daily practice to dedicate to ourselves for reflecting inward and really just calming our emotions, growing awareness around our emotions, checking in with our thoughts, and checking in how we vibrationally are reverberating throughout the day. I also really enjoy the idea of a 40-day sadhana practice. It is said that this is how long it takes to really feel and integrate the effects of your practice, to truly make a shift in your organism. Having this time frame helps me also to mentally commit to the practice, to know that it's for 40 days, that this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm dedicating myself for the next 40 days. And this time frame also helps me to curate my practice to support what's happening in my life at the time. We and the world around us are always changing, shifting through seasons, and our needs change. And the sadhana practice, for me, I like it to be flexible to support my life as it changes and to really support what it is that I need in each moment. So take some time to consider what it is you want out of a practice, what your intentions are, and create a daily sadhana and choose a time to practice that resonates with your heart. Choose something that excites you and that you are able and excited to commit to. A sustained and disciplined spiritual practice helps us return to the center as we ride the ebbs and flows of life. But it's important to return to the practice. So if this isn't something you're going to want to do daily, maybe shift it up so that it's excited. Start small. Start with 5 minutes a day. Start with 10 minutes a day. Just start down with writing one thing down you're grateful for, one thing you're looking forward to. Start somewhere. Now that said, it can be a real challenge to even just begin. So if you need support in creating a sadhana curated specifically to you, please do reach out. I offer sadhana sustenance sessions to help design a practice that you'll love. That's based on your lifestyle, based on your intentions, and based on how much time you have to commit to your practice. Or if you're kind of like, yeah, I'm interested, I'm curious, I want to know more, I don't need anything specifically curated for me, please feel free to consider joining in the Sacred Flow community. This is where you'll receive monthly practices curated to seasonal energies, what's going on in the world, and there's also live practices included, so we do get that community element in there as well. The links to both of those are down in the bio. Please remember, the most important thing is just to start. Start a practice, start inquiring deeply into your being, into your consciousness, begin somewhere, and then it'll grow from there. Also, please, I'd love to hear from you. What are your sadhana practices? What do you love to do? Put down in the comments what your daily practice consists of and share it with the community. Share it with us all. I'd love to hear from you. So do comment below what your practice looks like, or if you have any questions. Also, links below if you want to reach out if you need some support curating a sadhana practice for you. Again, start somewhere. And as always, thank you for your presence. Thank you for being here. I hope that in some ways helps you raise your vibrations, and I will see you again soon. Namaste.